Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chase Chrisley reveals what truly happened before arrest. Chase Chrisley has revealed the truth about what happened before his arrest. The arrest happened last month on January 6. There has been a lot of controversy over the topic. Will he deny that he assaulted the restaurant worker, or will he admit to doing wrong? There is a lot to unfold when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Chase Chrisley gets arrested after alleged assault. Chase Chrisley was arrested last month. The former reality TV star was at Twin Peaks in Atlanta. Allegedly, the night went south for Chase Chrisley. An employee at the sports bar accused Chase of slapping him in the face twice. The employee at Twin Peaks revealed that he was drunk and out of control. He apparently asked Chase to leave the bar, but this did not go well. Chase left the scene before law enforcement could arrive. However, he was found and arrested 3 days later. Chase was then released on a $10,000 bond. However, Chase has not spoken on the incident until now. He reveals what truly happened leading up to his arrest. Chase Chrisley has revealed what truly happened leading up to his arrest. This is the first time he has spoken on the issue since it happened. Fans know that Chase is more reserved than his siblings. Savannah Chrisley is always letting her opinion and truth be known. However, Chase does not do as much, so fans are glad to hear he is speaking out. Fans get what he is saying. However, this is all he had to say about the whole situation. When it first happened, his team spoke out and said, "Chase thinks the situation blew up like it did because of who he is. If he was someone different, it may have gone differently." It seems as though Chase is denying that he ever laid his hands on the employee. He says that if he was going to do something that was going to get him arrested, he would have got his money worth when it happened. Fans are not sure what to believe. However, the employee did choose not to press charges. He also was not injured. So fans are torn on what the truth is. Chase Chrisley had kept quiet for years. Through flashing paparazzi bulbs, courtroom headlines, and social media storms, he'd smiled politely, ducked questions, and maintained a carefully polished public image. But now, sitting in a dimly lit Nashville studio with nothing but a single camera, a black coffee, and a raw honesty he'd never dared share before, Chase was ready to tell the world what really happened before the Chrisley family's shocking arrest. "I've carried this for a long time," Chase began, his voice heavy with emotion. "People think they know everything because they watched us on TV. But behind the scenes, it was a tornado." As the middle child of the famously glamorous, chaotic Chrisley clan, Chase had always played the part of the mischievous, carefree son. But he admitted the truth was far more complicated. In the months leading up to the family's financial downfall, there were late-night phone calls, mysterious meetings, and a growing sense of dread. It started with a single file, Chase said, tapping the wooden table. "One folder that I wasn't supposed to see." One evening in early 2019, Chase had gone to his dad Todd's home office to borrow a laptop. But what he found instead was an open PDF, an internal document from a financial firm, loaded with names, dates, and an enormous dollar amount flagged in red. Chase wasn't a money guy, but even he knew something was off. "I felt my stomach drop," he confessed. There were shell companies listed I'd never heard of, wire transfers that didn't make sense, and weird routing through places like the Cayman Islands. "I didn't know what it all meant, but I knew it didn't smell right." He didn't confront Todd right away. Instead, he confided in his mom, Julie, hoping she might explain it away. But her reaction only "She begged me not to mention it to anyone and told me I misunderstood. But I saw the fear in her eyes. She knew what was coming." Over the next few weeks, the energy inside the Chrisley home shifted. Todd stopped joking around. Phone calls turned tense. The family's accountant suddenly stopped showing up for Sunday dinners. And Todd began locking his office door, even at home. Chase started putting pieces together. I realized we were living on the edge of a knife. It wasn't just a little IRS issue. It was serious, and my dad was spiraling. He thought he could fix it. He always thought he could fix everything. Then one night, everything exploded. Chase had been out with friends when he received a panicked call from Savannah. She was sobbing, yelling that agents had come to the house with questions. Chase raced back, only to find their father pacing like a caged lion while Julie wept silently on the couch. That was the moment I knew it was real. No more pretending. No more cameras. This wasn't reality TV. This was reality. Chase admitted that in the final days before the arrest, he contemplated leaving the country. Not because he had done anything wrong, but because he feared being dragged into something he didn't fully understand. I had this fantasy of going to Costa Rica, he laughed bitterly. Just disappearing, opening a surf shop. But then I thought about Chloe, about Grayson, and I knew I had to stay and face whatever was coming. On the morning of the arrest, Chase was already awake. He sat in his car in the driveway, watching the sunrise, headphones in, praying. When the sirens came, he didn't run. They cuffed my dad like he was El Chapo, Chase said quietly. And my mom, I'll never forget the way she looked at me. Like she wanted to say, I'm sorry, but didn't have the words. What followed was chaos. Lawyers, court dates, betrayal from so-called friends, and a wave of media scrutiny that felt like a tsunami. Chase said he felt like he was drowning in public shame, even though he hadn't been the one pushing papers or wiring funds. I wasn't guilty of fraud, but I was guilty of ignorance, he admitted. I didn't ask questions. I didn't push back. I trusted my parents so much that I ignored my gut. Over the months that followed, Chase said he learned more about the people he loved than in the entire 20-plus years prior. Todd, ever the control freak, tried to micromanage the legal strategy even from jail. Julie tried to be the emotional anchor, but grief consumed her. She was worried about Chloe more than herself, Chase said, his voice breaking slightly. She kept saying, make sure she knows we didn't abandon her. That was her biggest fear. And then came the hardest part, stepping into the role of protector. With his parents gone, the cameras gone, the money drying up, and fans retreating, Chase found himself alone with responsibility he never asked for. He had to make rent. He had to comfort his younger siblings. He had to rebuild his own sense of worth. It broke me, he admitted, but it also woke me up. Today, Chase is far removed from the glossy, spray-tanned persona fans once knew. He's quietly building a small business, investing in real estate. Legitimately this time, he jokes, and leaning into therapy and faith. He doesn't sugarcoat the damage the scandal caused, but he also doesn't wallow in it. I'm not proud of how things went down, but I'm proud I didn't run, he said. And if there's one thing I want people to know, it's that none of us had a script. We were just trying to survive. As for Todd and Julie, Chase visits when he can. They talk about the past, yes, but also the future. We talk about redemption, about second chances. My dad still believes there's a reason for all this. He still quotes Bible verses like he's running a Sunday school behind bars. He smiled faintly. And what about forgiveness? I've forgiven them, Chase said after a pause. Because I realized holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting them to get sick. I let it go. Now I'm writing my own story. With that, Chase stood, thanked the interviewer, and walked off set, not with the swagger of a reality star, but the quiet resilience of someone who's faced the fire and found the strength to walk through it.